Hi everyone. Today we're gonna talk about heat waves. Why? Because this is my third week in Bern, Switzerland, and during this week we have suffered a heat wave. I'm happy that this is the last day of the heat wave, but I'm gonna tell you how was it. This heat wave, in the news you have been watching, is covering many countries of the West Europe. So what is, by definition, what is a heat wave? Basically is a couple of days that the temperature is more than the average. It's because a high pressure system in the atmosphere is stuck there for several days and have a particular configuration of winds. What this configuration of winds generate basically is clear skies, and the clear skies basically means that this input of energy, the solar energy, reach more to the surface. This configuration basically generates a subsidence of air. What is subsidence? Basically the winds from the high levels of the troposphere start to move down to down levels. So this movement of subsidence, what generates is this profile of air mass in the troposphere start to compress. So since this compress, you can imagine when you compress something, the density increase, and with the density increase is where by these physical laws it becomes warmer. Now we want to pay attention to this black line here. These black lines basically you can see in the arrow there, right? So let's pay attention to here, this plate here is Switzerland, right? And now I can see like for today, let's go to the 0. Okay, this is the actual the currently condition here. So this area, how is this shape, is telling us what I told you, this high pressure system, this the high basically in the sky, in the atmosphere, is generating over all this area clear skies and more energy is stuck there. Why I'm telling you that it's stuck? Because during a heat wave you can see like this shape doesn't move. What we usually expect in a common days is this moves from west to east. But watch this, we can move this from a couple of days before. We are Sunday right now, we can move it to Friday, and you're gonna see that basically stayed here. And then even more days before Wednesday, it still keeps here. You can see the same line. How this a heat wave affect us. So it's so high that our body reach a point where it start to work to lower the level of temperatures in our body. Okay, why? Because if our body keeps increasing the temperature, this can create some failures in our systems in different parts of our body, and that's when we have different reactions. Even when we cannot regulate this anymore, the worst part is like we can reach to the heat stroke, and that later can lead to failures, severe failures of our system, which you can die. That's not the only way that also affect us. Also, for example, since your body is working to decrease this, you need to spend more energy also decreasing this. So that means like your level of productivity or concentration is also influenced by this. Plus, several days with warm nights, you are not sleeping very good, as you can see with me. But now let's consider other people, vulnerable ones, like can be just your grandparents, or if you have babies. They suffer more because they need to spend more time, their body efforts more to regulate their energy. So, and other people that have previous diseases. So this can be very, very dangerous, right? This heat wave, the peak in Bern reached the temperature up to 36 degrees. I'm staying in the attic, the 5th floor, in a house that the material, this place was designed to hold the heat, to hold the temperature, which basically makes sense, right? During the year, the temperatures can decrease very low. During the winter here, it can be also very cold. But now, since these extreme heat waves are becoming more frequent, this is the second heat wave during this season in this year for Switzerland and the west part of Europe too. So that basically means it's just starting the season, and this is already the second heat wave. So the idea is like this is gonna keep happening. According to the evidence, the projection says in the future the heat waves are gonna keep becoming more frequent, more intense, and more longer. So basically means that there should be changes, some adaptations, right? Basically, in this case, in this place, where I'm using a fan, but the fan is also, you reach a point of temperature where the fan is not useful anymore. So changes in the houses and the material and the design of the place for a better ventilation, that's something that it should be considered also now for the new houses here. If you don't have an AC, then you can find a fan. If you don't have a fan, you can use the window, but with these you have to pay attention to the time of the day. Basically during the afternoon where the temperature reach the maximum, you have to close the window. Try to be very hydrated, drink a lot of water. I'm talking to you about this at 1 a.m. basically. Here you can see almost 1 a.m. Why? Because basically it's the last night of the heat wave, but it still is very hot and I can't sleep. Anyway, cut there. It's 3 a.m. and the storm has arrived. So the end of the heat wave, but it's the start of the storm. Do you wanna watch this?